ball position. We got to talk about one of the most important things that good players do that I see amateurs have a real problem with. And here, let me just say this. You can have a great golf swing. You can make a great motion. If your ball position is bad, you're going to hit a bad shot. So good players have practiced enough, and that's part of training, that they know what the ball position should feel like and what the best place is for. But let's first talk about why ball position is where it's positioned. And I want to get into a little specifics here because it has to do with the design of golf clubs. Now, if you look at a 3-wood, for example, or if you look at a driver, let's look at it first. And I'll show you my driver here to dress. You're going to notice that there's not very much loft in the driver. And the driver is designed to be struck with very little shaft lean forward. In other words, it's designed to be struck pretty much straight like this. So when my swing comes down and I strike the ball, I want the club to be almost straight up and down. That's the way the club is designed. It doesn't have a lot of loft on it. And I might even hit the ball slightly on the upward motion of the strike, and that allows the ball to launch into the air. So this club is designed to be struck at this angle, so pretty much straight up and down. Now let me grab a wedge. This club is also designed straight up and down, but it needs to be struck with shaft lean, where I have about 10 degrees of shaft handle forward than the head. Why is that? Because if I had the ball sitting on the ground and I could not hit the sweet spot of the club on the sweet spot of the ball, the center of mass, with the shaft straight up and down. The center of mass is because of loft, a wedge loft. I have to lean the club forward. See what happens? That part of the club comes higher to the ball and I'm able to strike. Okay, so this club I have to hit with more lean than a driver or a 3-wood. Now, how do you do that with the same golf swing? Because I don't want to change my golf swing. I'm not changing my motion here. I don't want 14 different swings in my bag, right? I just want one swing for all clubs. How do I do that? Well, you've got to do it with ball position and your feet. Now, this isn't complicated. It's actually pretty simple. So let's look at another element of the body now. So if I stand, take a look at this golf ball right here. That golf ball, when I set up like this, is positioned a few inches, let's say 5 inches inside my lead heel right there. Okay, so that ball position. Now, I'm going to go into my tilt. I want you to watch this shoulder. So I'm going to go into a narrow position. You see my shoulder go forward? I'm going to step wider. Watch the shoulder go back. Narrow, and then back. Notice how relative to that ball position that this goes further behind or more forward of the ball. Now, keep in mind that the only straight line you have with the golf club at the moment of impact is the alignment of the club to the shoulder. That makes this angle a very important angle when it comes to your ball striking. So watch when I set up to the ball here. If I set up with a narrow stance, do you see how my shoulder is far enough in front of the ball to where when I hit this wedge, I have shaft lean? It's very simple. Narrow stance, shaft lean. Okay? Not hard to hit a wedge when I'm positioned correctly. All right, let's watch this now. Let me grab a 3-wood. Now a 3-wood, you don't want shaft lean in this thing. This thing comes in with a tiny bit of shaft lean, but most of all, it's just a tiny bit. Well, I don't want to take this narrow stance because look what happens. I can't de-loft the 3-wood like that. I don't want to hit it go right into the ground. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to basically keep that ball position. I'm going to go wider. Now, I'm going to have the ball position just a little forward here. So in other words, it's still inside my lead foot, but I just widen my feet. When I widen my feet, look at my lead shoulder, goes back. Now watch this. Where's my shoulder relative to the ball? It's probably just about over it, or maybe just slightly in front of it. But now when I hit this ball, it's almost right there, and I can launch this 3-wood. All right? How did I do that? Stance width. Didn't change my tilt, went wider. All right, let's hit this. Let's hit a driver. Check this out. This is the club I want to hit the furthest, right? I want to hit this thing long. What I'm going to do here, my ball position is on a tee, bump it forward. It's right inside my lead foot now. I take a super wide stance. This is the widest I go. Look how far behind the golf ball I am. Look at the shoulders behind the ball too. Now I can launch. I'm behind the ball. How did I do that? Not like a wedge, like a driver, well behind it. I'm in launch position here. Here we go. So, the ball position, and here's the secrets to ball position. It's always somewhere between 5 inches inside the lead foot and forward based on the length of club. And all you have to do is adjust the trail foot to get this shoulder where you want it. You have to train that, you have to practice that. That's why we have certain training devices in our academy that help you with that. But ball position is a major, major component to great ball striking, so don't ignore it.